Hey, good afternoon, folks. It is a very special breaking news edition of the Political Spotlight in the daytime. It is episode 123, and this very special breaking news edition of the Political Spotlight is episode 123, breaking news. Indiana State House to call the third vote on House Bill 1338. Of course, that is the incredibly unconstitutional, in my opinion, divisive state house bill that state representative from District 33, J.D. Prescott, has put forward. I received word today that they were calling for the third vote in the House. This will be the vote that the full House takes, the House of Representatives. And what will occur from here is after this vote, if this vote fails, it'll be dead. If this vote passes, it will then go on to the Senate. So, and then it will have to be voted on to go to committee. And it will then have to go. It will then go from committee, if it passes there, to the full Senate and then to the governor. So bear with me as we are looking for information here. I'm wanting to, we're getting our feed in from the Attorney General here. Yeah, this is extremely sad. This is not a good thing. I've been on the phone with many representatives today. This is not a good thing that's happening. This is, I'm hoping that this is going to be voted down. I've talked to representatives, I've emailed, I've texted, and I'm hoping that constitutional values win out. I'm hoping that both Republicans and Democrats will see that this is not a good thing, that this is not a good thing for the state, for their voters, for the constituents, for those that are not constituents, for everyone that lives and will speak in front of an elected body in the state of Indiana. This is an extremely sad thing. This is where they're wanting to silence the public, folks. That is absolutely right. That is exactly what this is. I will pull the bill up here so you guys can see this here. Give me 1 second. I'm monitoring several different things, and Kate didn't know that I was going live, so she's not on here to my knowledge. Yeah. Here's the House bill. Here's the bill on screen right here. Give me 1 second, folks, as we get this all set up here. Sorry. This is not generally what we do, but we wanted to bring this to you live. We will be talking about this evening, obviously, at 9 p.m., so you'll want to tune in. We've got a big show for you tonight. We'll be talking about what's going on in Delaware County tomorrow. There's a big council meeting tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll be talking about this and the outcome of this vote. This is a major thing that we are currently witnessing. Everyone that I spoke to today, I ask all the elected officials that I spoke with today if they consider themselves to be friends of the Constitution, and they all stated yes. And I said, okay, well, if you're a friend of the Constitution, then you have to vote no to this bill. There's just no other way around it. And anybody that votes in favor of this bill is an enemy of the Constitution. And there's no other way around that. And anyone that is an enemy of the Constitution is definitely an enemy of mine, politically speaking. Looks like they're running a little bit. Looks like they're running on Bilbrey time, Bilbrey on standard time, apparently. And I do believe that we will be seeing the vote and action on House Bill 1338, but I also believe that we will be seeing action on other information as well. I believe that there will be other action taken as well. Okay, it says we are in the right location. I guess they're just running behind. I am off screen, so if you guys are commenting, I apologize. I will be right back on. They're getting ready to vote, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting ready to take the third vote. Is what we're getting ready to be witnessing here. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Now have this shared. If anyone, you're free to share this out on social media, free to share this out any place that you can. This is the bill, so we're gonna look down here. Oh, hey, Kate's here. Cool. This bill is straight up communism. They pass this and heads will roll in this coming election. And that's what we need to do. Listen, I've talked to roughly 30 some either offices or representatives today. And I've told everybody basically point blank, I've let them know what the issue is. And I've told them, this cannot be the direction that we're going. This is just the start. And if this is where we're going, then, and this is something that they vote on, if they vote on today, and or if this becomes law, because if they pass it today, it's not law. If they pass it today, it then goes to the Senate, and it goes to a committee of 10, 12, 11, 15 people, something like that. And it will vote in the committee. And if it passes there, it then goes to the full Senate. And at that time, if it passes, all right, here we are.
Your presence. The following members are excused. Representatives Culp and Miller.
There is a enemy. Take me off of screen real quick. If they pass this, we will still have a chance to stop this bullshit. The Senate has to hear and pass this. So we blow up the phones and emails. Absolutely. It's crazy. I almost believe that they're pushing it through as quickly as they can because they know. I talked to one representative today that told me that there's a bunch of scuttlebutt at the State House about this. I talked to one representative who said that there's been a lot of talk in different committees and different people talking about this bill. They said that we here at the Political Spotlight, our name, the name of the show, has come up, and that there's a lot of scuttlebutt about JD, about the Political Spotlight, about all of this. And so I think that I have no proof. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what their calendar is, what their schedule is, but this is crazy. This is just attendance. Yes, they're just taking attendance right now. This is for nothing. It says attendance up there at the top of the screen. This is just for attendance currently.
Have all the members voted? Tie the roll. Roll call shows 92 members present. The chair declares quorum for conducting business. House motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that when we do adjourn, we adjourn until January 23rd, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Representative Lehman.
For the motion, the second, all those favoring indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, no. Motion is adopted. Committee report. Oh. Committee report.
It should never be taken lightly.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Veterans Affairs and Public Safety, to which was referred House Bill 11.
For the committee report, is there any discussion? Chair sees none. Questions on adoption of committee report. All those favoring indicate saying aye. Those opposed, no. Committee report is adopted. I was a little quick on the gavel. What was the number on that one? House Bill what? That was 1202. Committee report.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Agriculture.
Click on the gavel because you got to ram it through.
Yeah, right.
Has had the same under consideration.
For the committee report, is there any discussion? Chair sees none. The question is on the adoption of committee report. All those favoring indicate saying aye. Those opposed, no. Committee report is adopted. Pursuant to House Rule 143-1, as they are eligible for second reading, there are no amendments filed. At the request of the authors, the chair seeks consent of the members to engross the following bills. House Bill 1003, House Bill 1064, House Bill 1108, House Bill 1123, House Bill 1182, House Bill 1206, House Bill 1231, House Bill 1233, House Bill 1276, House Bill 1277, House Bill 1278, House Bill 1281, House Bill 1376, House Bill 1383. Consent. Chair hands down those bills on second reading.
House Bill 1003, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning state offices and
Bills are ready for amendment, recommend engrossment. Chair sees none.
What the
Bills
hell?
Order to engrossment. I'm going to move to the second reading calendar, but I'm going to skip around because of a little author availability. House Bill 1042, Representative Heine. Chair hands down second reading House Bill 1042.
House Bill 1042, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning higher education.
Bills ready for amendment, recommitment, or engrossment. Chair sees none. Representative Porter. House motion.
House Bill 1042, Amendment 1. Mr. Speaker, I move that House Bill 1042 be.
Heard the motion in a second. The chair recognizes Representative Porter to speak on the amendment.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, House, Mr. Leader, grateful for this opportunity to bring something for the committee, the House that we've done before. This is our tax amnesty. This is an amendment for tax amnesty program. Back in a few years ago, we did a tax amnesty program here in the state of Indiana that generated about $160-something million for individuals that did not pay their taxes. You pay a certain percentage of that. The dollars went into our coffers, and then we took those dollars and created a program here in the state of Indiana. Also,
I know,
a few
Kate.
years ago, we did another tax amnesty program that generated almost $200 million that utilized some programs up in South Bend, I think Fort Wayne, down in Evansville, to do economic development programs down there. So what this does, this tax amnesty program would generate up to $20 million for pre-K. And so we always talk about we don't have the money, it's not sustainable, but we fund this at this level. We give a tax amnesty program for this. Right now, we could generate on up to the end of this decade money for pre-K, and it won't continue to be a pilot type program. So that's essentially what this does for the state of Indiana, and this is another mechanism for us to help fund pre-K programs here in the state of Indiana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Leaders, ladies and gentlemen of the House.
Right before they stick, I think they shoot them with cocaine.
Representative Smaltz, point of order is that the amendment appears to be violating Rule 119.1, substitution of subject matter. The chair will stand in recess as we consider this point of order.
Oh my God. So they can't do this in front of us. Let me pull us back up on here. They can't do this in front of us. So they're going to go to recess. They're going to argue this out for a moment. We should be back up here just shortly. But this is insane. This is just absolutely insane. And I want to let you guys know, I thought about it. We're still not there. Nothing's happening, Casey. They've quickly, just briefly went to recess because they're arguing point of order on a matter that they can't do in front of us all.
Well, they haven't done anything else in front of us either.
Yeah, right.
They had a list of what? They had 12 bills that they wanted to pass the second reading on. They read the numbers. The guy tried to introduce the names and he got whacked down.
Oh, yeah. Here we are.
Oh, we're back. Point of order dealt with.
What a joke. This is a joke.
Does anyone else find his nose distirbing?
Yeah. I'm going to make a parody of it, but maybe we get sued. I don't know.
Okay.
Violates Rule 80 germane to the
Just
bill.
put our
After
disclaimer on it.
recesses, we consider
Yeah,
this
right. I'm just going to
point
make
of
it a
order.
nose. Him a nose.
Why are we in
Holy
recess
shit.
now?
We even talked right through that. What the hell?
We only had time to mention his nose. And we're in recess.
Hey, Stumblefoot. Yeah, right there. If you don't find this disturbing, I don't know what was going on there. Something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with everybody. Anyone that does not. I wish we had that many recesses. And yeah. You're right. You're right.
He's slower than some of the other ones I've seen.
Yeah.
So what is this? Joe's mentioning CJ Grisham. Right here. Sorry. Have you seen this?
No, a couple people have mentioned it. Let me pull it up. I have not seen it. Where was it? When was it?
Stumblefoot, call. Even if it seems fruitless, call. Get your voice out there. Everybody needs to be getting their voices out there.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I've been on the phone all since I found out. When did I message you guys? Oh, here we go.
An hour ago. Oh, we're out of recess.
Back to order. After consideration of Rule 80, the chair finds the point well taken. Further amendments? Chair sees none. The bill's ordered to engrossment. House Bill 1051, Representative Devon.
That's right, Cindy.
Chair hands down on second reading.
Look
House
at
Bill
Ted Kennedy.
1051.
House Bill 1051, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning family.
Bill's ready for amendment.
Good
Recommend
Lord. Don't.
engrossment. Chair sees none. Bill's ordered to engrossment. Bill's ordered to engrossment. House Bill 1079, Representative Teschka. Chair hands down on second reading.
I
House Bill
wish he'd miss
1079.
and smack the hell out of his
House
thumb.
Bill 1079, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning.
Bill's ready for amendment. Recommend the engrossment. Representative
I'll tell you what, that little boy down at that podium is a champ.
House
That he
motion.
can like stop on that bang.
Yeah. That's exactly right,
House Bill
Stumblefoot.
1079, Amendment 3. Mr. Speaker, I move that House Bill 1079.
For the motion and second, Chair recognizes Representative Teschka to speak on the amendment.
Speaker, members of the House, this amendment is really a technical correction. There are two places in the bill where the term craft hemp flower was inadvertently missed. The low THC hemp extract was exempted from these a couple of places, but craft hemp flower was not inserted. And so all this does is insert that term into those two places. With that, I'd urge your support. Thank you.
For discussion on the amendment.
Woo! Hemp flower,
Chair
hemp
sees none.
flower.
The question is on the adoption amendment. All those favoring, case saying aye. Those opposed, no. Motion is adopted. For the further amendments, Representative Arrington. House motion.
I don't even know what all bills we're supposed to be following. I'm looking at 1338, but there's several others I know.
House Bill 1079, Amendment 1. Mr. Speaker, I move that House Bill 1079.
For the amendment and second, the chair recognizes Representative Arrington.
Oh, Sue Arrington.
Thank
Listen
you,
to
Mr.
this
Speaker
nonsense.
and members of the House. This amendment establishes a regulatory framework for legalized marijuana.
Oh,
For anticipating the time when it becomes legal in Indiana. To give you a little background, already cannabis is legal in 38 states for medical use and 24 states for personal use. We are surrounded on 3 sides by states where marijuana is legal. Now, the people of Indiana have already decided on this issue.
yeah.
Survey after survey, including the 2023 Hoosier survey released last week by the Bowen Center for Public Affairs, found that most Hoosiers are in favor of legalizing marijuana.
What's that, Kate?
They found
Oh, that's that one about
54.2% of respondents
making
stated
fun of
it should
them.
be
Oh,
legal
yeah.
for personal use, while 32.2%
That's going to
medical
cause us a lot of
about
lawsuits.
86%. Less than 10% of Hoosiers, those respondents, believe that marijuana should be illegal.
They only give the cocaine to the
These
Republicans,
results are consistent
apparently.
with the
Yeah.
2022 Hoosier survey, indicating, as
Yeah.
the authors commented, that Hoosiers are firm in their stance on the issue. And if that's not proof enough, you only have to look
I
at
think that's the point,
dispensary
Stumblefoot.
parking lots in cities across our borders.
Ever
They are
read Brave
full
New
of
World?
vehicles with Indiana license
Everybody
plates.
there is high on
People
soma
who are
and
willing to
instant
flout
gratification,
the law
and the government just
in order
trods all over the
to
top of
do
them.
what they think is
Control
right for them.
through pleasure.
Yeah.
Now, if we put this issue on the ballot like Ohio and other states have, is there any doubt in this room that we wouldn't get the same results that Ohio did last year? So how much longer will Indiana be a holdout state?
As long as we have a
Now, the
governor
rationale for
Lily.
keeping
that
cannabis
holds the
illegal
pocket of
in
Eli
Indiana
Lilly.
is to blame it on the feds. To point at the drug schedule where cannabis is still listed as a Schedule I substance. Well, even there, change is occurring. Last summer in August, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommended to the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, that marijuana be rescheduled from Schedule I to Schedule III under the Controlled Substances Act. This recommendation is based on the Food and Drug Administration's review of marijuana and related findings that are not currently available to the public. This is from the Congressional Research Service, their report. So what weight does this recommendation carry? Well, the DEA has testified in response to questioning at
On
a
the
congressional
minds.
hearing in 2020 that it is bound by FDA's recommendations on scientific and medical matters. And if past is prologue, it could be likely that DEA will reschedule marijuana or even take it off the schedule, according to HHS's recommendation. So let me say again, legalization is coming. So let's be prepared. Let's put the framework in place now so that we're not drinking from the fire hose when the FDA removes marijuana from Schedule I. So I ask for your support, your yes vote on my amendment number 1. Thank you.
Stage point, Representative Smalls. Representative Smaltz, point of order, it states concern that the amendment violates Rule 80 germaneness. The House will stay in recess as we consider this point of order.
These people are jokes, man. I was just going to record this, and then we were going to talk about it tonight, but we've got so much to talk about tonight, I thought I would go ahead and go live today and at least get through the video with most people. Oh, you don't got to go away. I mean, you can do what you want to do. I just thought you can, it's up to you. But I didn't want, I wanted to be able to go through it with most people. And then throughout today, most people would then be able to see it even in repeat, if whatever. And then what we would do is then tonight we'll just hit the highlight because we got a lot to talk about tonight. If you are interested in hearing some good commentary on this, and if you're interested in hearing some commentary on the solar situation in Delaware County, then you're definitely going to want to tune in tonight. We have a county council meeting in Delaware County tomorrow, and we're going to have a major discussion, in my opinion. We're going to have a major discussion. So tonight's program is going to be big. I don't have the duck made for it yet, but we'll get the link and everything made for you guys so you can start logging into it. But it's going to be big. My real fake name. Hello there, my real fake name. Yeah, becoming. I get it. Oh, we're back.
Further discussion, further amendments? Chair sees none. Bills over to engrossment. House Bill 1093, Representative Cole passes. House Bill 1033, Representative Voltoff.
Oh, that's 1033.
Representative Voltoff passes. House Bill 1235, Representative Jeter. Chair hands down on second reading, House Bill 1235.
House Bill 1235, a bill for an act to amend the
Bill's ready for amendment, recommended and engrossment. House Representative Arrington.
These people, man.
House Bill 1235, Amendment 1. Mr. Speaker, I move that.
Further motion is second. The chair recognizes Representative Arrington to speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. Gun violence is an epidemic in the United States.
Oh,
in
good.
Indiana,
We've got
and in
Fivel
our
back
own
up at the podium.
communities. Any day of the week, you see.
Well, thank you,
news
Grant
about
County.
Another person shot or killed with a firearm. And it's not just mass shootings by a single shooter. It's everything. Sometimes it's neighbor on neighbor.
It's
Family
everything.
member on family member. Someone committing a crime. And
Well,
firearm
yeah, I want to shoot
injuries
someone that's
are the
committing a
point where
crime.
They have become the leading cause of death among children
Criminals.
and teens in our country. Often it's a case of someone pulling out a gun on the spur of the moment in anger, fear, or panic. We need all hands on deck to find solutions. And I offer this amendment in that spirit because what it does is repeals
Somewhere
the no
out
more stringent
there.
law in our statute. When the General Assembly passed the no more stringent law several years ago, we passed a one-size-fits-all statute. Now, Indiana communities are not all the same. There are many differences that vary from community to community. But we tied the hands of local officials who are closest to the violence from coming up with solutions that fit their communities. Has one size fits all worked? No. There's no evidence that it has slowed the violence. Now, I want to tell you about two violent episodes in my district that have occurred in the last 6 months. And they're what got me looking for solutions. And this amendment is part of is the result of that search. The first one you may have seen in the news. It occurred last July on a weekend where there was a big festival. There was an outdoor nighttime block party in Muncie. Over 1,000 young people, many of them teens, showed up. Many more than were expected. One of the people in the crowd pulled out his gun and shot and killed another person in the crowd. It caused a panic, and others in the crowd got out their guns and began to shoot. All told, 18 people were wounded by gunshot. Fortunately, only one was killed. And another person was hit by a car in the panic. Since then, the mayor has formed a task force.
It's been an ignorant
solutions.
joke.
Well, so far, no solutions have been announced yet. My amendment.
I will,
open
Cheryl,
up
and we'll be
additional
live
paths
tonight.
for my community to find solutions to what happened and avoid it happening again. Now, the second incident is quite different. In this case, a 16-year-old shot his 18-year-old sister in their home. He knew his mother kept a gun in her bedroom night table, and in a fit of anger, grabbed it, shot through the bedroom door, and hit his sister. Actually, he wanted to hit his sister's boyfriend, but he hit her instead. Fortunately, she has not died. She was hospitalized, and she seems to have survived the incident. Now, if Muncie authorities...
Representative Arrington, with respect, your amendment deals with gun ranges.
With what?
With shooting ranges. I'm struggling to understand how else relates to a local government may regulate the location, use, operation, safety, and construction of a shooting range is what your amendment deals with.
Oh, it does?
Well, my intention was it repeals the no more stringent law. And if we got the wrong language, I apologize for that.
Okay, I mean, somebody want to look at the amendment?
What in the hell? What in the hell? I just wanted to take away guns. It didn't matter to me where I'm taking them away from. We can take them from the range. We can take them from your bedroom. I don't care. I was just taking guns. Didn't matter to me. I know. I wish we could play that but we would get copyright strike. YouTube's no fun for that. Why aren't we in recess for this? When they're looking stupid, don't they normally go to recess and block it off there? Oh, it's only when the Republicans are looking stupid. I forgot. Arrington's a Democrat. Some could say that the House Speaker really knows what he's talking about. Hey, my real fake name. I hope you stick around, and if you like what you see here, we do live commentary on local and state, national politics 5 nights a week. Sunday through Thursday. So if you like what you see here, we're normally live at 9 p.m. Eastern each night, 9 p.m. Indiana time, every night, Sunday through Thursday. But we're breaking here during the day for this vote because we're watching one specific vote. The vote that we are watching is House Bill 1138. Well, there's a lot of them that we're watching, but the one that we're specifically watching is the unconstitutional House Bill, 1338, which allows local government to basically stop us from speaking and lock us up and treat us like criminals for wanting to redress our governments.
Representative Smaltz, I see you have a suggestion.
If you
Representative
haven't seen
Smaltz,
it,
state your point.
this is it.
Recess as we consider the point of order.
Oh my God. Okay, we're now on point of order. So now I can show you the bill. Now I can show you the bill that we're really here for today. It allows the governing bodies of certain local government agencies, local agencies, to adopt, in case you didn't get it, it was local government agencies for local agencies, to adopt the rules or policies governing the conduct of meetings, provides that a rule or policy may provide that the presiding member of the governing body of the local agency may issue warnings to disruptive attendees. Well, law enforcement can already currently do that. There's no reason that that can't already happen. If someone there is acting a fool or is crossing the line or doing something they shouldn't be doing, law enforcement can already take care of folks that are disorderly. That's stupid. All right, moving on. And direct them to leave the meeting on the third warning and direct law enforcement officer to remove disruptive attendees. Provides that the rules and policies must be posted at the meeting entrance and announced before taking public testimony. Specifies the provisions of the tort claims law providing immunity to a governing entity or employee in adopting and enforcing laws or rule applies, providing that persons who knowingly or intentionally enters or refuses to leave certain areas commits the offense of criminal trespass. All right, we're back.
Further amendments? Chair sees none. Bills ordered to engrossment.
There are no real leaders, Cindy. Not in government, anyway. Hopefully the leaders are coming, but we have to be them. We have to make them. They're us. You're the leader. I'm the leader. I don't need a leader. I need a public official.
Representative Morrison, House Bill 1242. Chair hands down on second reading House Bill 1242, a bill to enact the Indiana Code concerning, reader, please, 1242.
Oh, because he can't read it himself? He doesn't know his own bill?
House Bill 1242, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code.
The bill is ready for amendment.
Are you kidding?
Representative Morrison, you're recognized to speak on your bill, your amendment.
House Bill 1242, Amendment 1. Mr. Speaker, I move that.
Heard the motion is second. Representative Morrison to speak on your amendment.
That's
Thank
crazy.
you, Mr. Speaker, members
One
of the
device.
House. This amendment, I know this was going to surprise some of you, but I got some bad information on spelling from my colleague, Representative Lindauer. In committee, we thought above ground should be 2 words, but apparently it is 1 word. So we are correcting the amendment that we made in committee to make it 2 words back to 1. And then also clarifying that the underground tanks that funds can be paid out to replace underground tanks with above ground or below ground tanks, but not vice versa, above ground for below ground. So it's clear as a whistle. That's it. Thank you.
Further discussion on the amendment?
Okay.
Chair sees none.
Here's 1264 coming up by Wesco.
All those in favor of the amendment signify by voting aye. Those opposed? The amendment is adopted. The bill is ordered to engrossment. Representative Wesco, House Bill 1264. Representative Wesco passes. Representative Morris, House Bill 1352.
We're coming up to it,
Representative
folks.
Morris passes. Representative Banning, House Bill 1380. Representative Banning passes. Representative Lindauer, House Bill 1399. The chair hands down on second reading House Bill 1399.
House Bill 1399, a bill for an act.
The bill is ready for amendment, recommitment, or engrossment. Representative Bauer. House motion.
House Bill 1399, Amendment 1. Mr. Speaker, I move that House Bill 1399.
Get your crap out of
Motion
there.
and second, the chair recognizes Representative Bauer to speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. We learned in committee that PFAS are commonly used in many medical devices. Committee testimony revealed to the legislature that PFAS are added into large medical equipment like foil and MRI, CT, and mammography machines. They're even in the very tip of your injectable medicines that help the needle glide in and out of your skin with ease. They're in pacemakers, pharmaceutical drugs like Prozac and Lipitor, and they're in your colonoscopy probe. As this legislature learns more and more about the many ways that PFAS
We're not
chemicals are
on
used in everyday
1338
products,
yet.
it should be noted that despite all of us having been exposed to PFAS and having it in our blood, there is no safe level of PFAS for humans. Nonetheless, the medical industry has come to us this year to state that they do use these chemicals, that there is no commercial alternative at this time, and that they want to continue using them. With my amendment, we'll create a medical exemption for life-saving medical devices and pharmaceutical drugs from any environmental rules board decision regulating the use of PFAS chemicals. We can't change what we know, that PFAS are man-made chemicals that have been intentionally added into a number of products, and that PFAS have been linked
This
to a
is just
number
the
of
second
adverse
round
effects.
readings.
And
We're going to
cannot
leave here
change
and go to the third
scientific
round. We're right
definition.
now in the second round readings.
Science prevents us from doing that, and it's not subject to opinion or interpretation. What we can do is recognize that some of the uses of these chemicals are essential, necessary, and life-saving, and that's what my amendment does.
I don't know what you
I thank the
mean,
author for bringing
Stumblefoot.
this,
What?
to the light
I
of
don't.
the many uses
what-
this chemical
what
is
don't they
made
let
by
you
the
say,
medical
buddy?
industry that we may not have known before, and I'd appreciate your support for my amendment today to allow for the manufacturing, production, research, and use of medical devices with regulation certainty in the state of Indiana. Thank you.
Roll call has been requested and seconded.
I
Will
didn't
the
know they ever did that.
Lauer speak on that motion?
I've never had any problem with it.
I'm totally off my game today, Representative Lindauer. My apologies.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Representative Bauer, for bringing this amendment. We did have a spirited debate in committee regarding this issue, but I would ask you today to defeat the amendment. As written, it would not capture, and it would leave in a state of regulatory uncertainty potentially. Biotech, defense, the energy industry.
I would like to hear a
construction,
spirited debate. I'd like to hear what that
electronics,
sounds
mining,
like
several industries that
among
also,
these idiots.
would like to have some regulatory certainty in this as well. Also, the way it's written, no mention of the supply chain issue that could come from this amendment, even for the medical industry, for the medical device industry, or the pharmaceutical industry. For that reason, I ask that you defeat the amendment, please.
For discussion on the amendment, Representative Pierce speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House. This is a really important amendment because this goes right to the health of our constituents and the quality of our environment. These
Danny
PFAS
Wanda
chemicals are
Mize
called
said
forever
Indiana.
chemicals because once they're manufactured,
He said Indiana.
they stay in the
Then
environment
he
forever, basically.
said
There's not
downtown
yet been
Indiana,
discovered
Plainfield,
a
Martinville,
way
Avon.
to actually dispose of the PFAS.
And this is kind of the next lead situation, right? So for all these years, we had a lot of products that lead was put in them. Then we figured out that lead was really detrimental to the health of people, and there are state and federal laws about lead. And yet today, we're still struggling to clean up the lead in our environment from all these products, with lead pipes and things that were manufactured with lead. We are going down the same path with PFAS. We have just recognized within the last 5 years or so, it's least come to our attention, that this PFAS forever chemical is dangerous. And there's really not a good level that you can ingest, and it's like
Wow,
this
it
forever
doesn't say
chemical is
that.
already in a lot of
Stumblefoot,
our
I see it.
systems.
I mean, I don't see it.
And so if we don't do something
That's
to
crazy.
prevent more PFAS from going into the environment,
It's between this
and it continues to pile up, we're going to
and
have
between
a bigger cleanup
this,
problem later,
but
even
it's,
more
yeah, I don't see it
expensive
on the screen.
than
That's
the hundreds
crazy.
of millions, if not billions of dollars being spent on the lead problem. Now, the proponents of the bill are hanging on the idea that there are two kinds of PFAS, kind of an okay PFAS and a bad PFAS. And the argument is that the water-soluble PFAS is the bad PFAS because it can get absorbed into your drinking water and migrate, cause a lot of problems, and that's true. But the argument is that the non-soluble PFAS is okay
That's
because
bullshit.
it's like it stays in place. It doesn't like migrate around. But the truth is,
Well, you got a direct link to
that
me, bro.
solid
Send it
PFAS,
to me, and
even
I'll
if it's
say it
not absorbed
anytime.
into water or other
If they
liquids,
censor you,
it eventually breaks down. So if it goes to the landfill or ends up deposited someplace,
just send it to me, and I'll say it.
eventually, just like plastics, it's going to break
I'll
down
say Stumblefoot
into
says.
small little, pellets, or basically really small chunks of the PFAS. And at that point, it's kind of like a dust. It's going to start migrating. And then it potentially gets into our food system, into our bodies, those kinds of things. So to have a bill come through here that allows PFAS to continue to be basically endorsing it, because we haven't really even banned it yet. We're behind the 8 ball on that. But it's basically saying, okay, for the, the policy of our state is like, have at it for the good PFAS. And there's expert testimony committee that that's not a distinction that makes sense. So Representative Bauer's amendment is very sensible, because why are we here? We had some manufacturers who said this is essential for their product. So we have to balance that as policymakers. Manufacturers want to use it for their products, and the danger to our communities. Well, when you balance those policies out in the medical world, it makes sense to say, okay, you know what? We're going to have some risk here, continuing to use PFAS, but because we have not yet found another
I want you to
chemical
notice
that will
how
work
much time
in our
they're
medical
taking
devices, and
arguing
medical devices
when
save
they're talking
lives,
about big
it makes
business,
sense to maybe
medical
carve out a
businesses
narrow
and
exception for that.
chemicals and
And then
people
we
that
should
are
probably be
funding
doing
big
something to
monies,
figure out how we
got
can
big
find a
pockets,
non-toxic chemical
but they
that will work in
spend
those
no
medical
time
applications.
dealing with your
So this is
rights
a
that were given to
totally
you by God.
reasonable amendment. It preserves the use of this chemical for the medical device industry.
Notice that, folks.
And it keeps
We can
us, it
argue
begins
about
to
this
move us
because
away,
we're
at least
dealing with
keeps us from
money.
going down the path of making more PFAS that potentially gets in our
Yeah,
environment. And we
Kate,
have
got
even
it right
bigger,
here.
more expensive cleanup. So I
We need to balance this, but not the First Amendment.
Representative Boyd, speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. I urge you to support this amendment as well. The National Institutes of Health, National Cancer Institution, Division of Cancer Epidemiology and Genetics has an article on studies.
There is not enough alcohol or nicotine to be able to deal with these idiots. There's just not.
Cancer, breast cancer,
I'm going to
ovarian
chain smoke my way through 3 packs in the next 10 minutes watching these fools.
And thyroid cancer, and specifically thyroid cancer and childhood leukemia. These are all devastating diseases for people, and it's the amount of PFAS that's in people's bloodstreams right now is increasing exponentially. We need to do something about this. Thank you.
For discussion on the bill, Representative Arrington, speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of the amendment also. I'm the ranking minority member in the House Environmental Affairs Committee where the bill was heard for at least an hour, if not.
Fievel's back, Christopher. Are you going to sing for
I
us?
know.
You know,
It's
my
amazing.
knowledge of PFAS was, before this bill came up, was that it's called a forever chemical and it's pretty common. I didn't realize how common it was until we started hearing the testimony and when, frankly, the advocates of the bill started talking with me. And it runs the gamut of types of products that fall into this category that the bill seeks.
Well, Corey
to
Criswell
take
just
out
messaged
of
me
being a definition of
and
Oh.
said,
PFAS.
shut up, Sue. Corey Criswell just messaged me and said, good afternoon, Bilbrey. I just wanted to inform you that I am going to vote. Yeah, we had a conversation, a spirited conversation. He said, I just want to let you know that I am going to vote yes on House Bill 1338 today. I was assured that this would not make effect you and others' First Amendment right.
Bullshit.
I was told this would bring a guidance to follow for towns and cities to adopt if they would like. I appreciate your message and phone call. Hope you have a great day. I said, hey, I appreciate you manning up enough and letting me know the fight is on. Welcome to the side of being an enemy of the Constitution and me. Politically speaking, of course. Have a great day.
It's not going to do that until it does.
Yeah, I'll call your ass from jail, Corey, and you can come bail me out and you can foot the legal battle when it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say the world.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And they testified in committee. They said that
All
is
it did was
essential
set
and
up
necessary,
allowing
and it's
them to
worth
have
having this
rules.
discussion
That
in
would be
committee
one
among
thing.
legislators.
But it's setting up
And I
to
welcome
allow
that.
them to have people removed, have people put in prison, have no, you can't sue the police. The police now have qualified immunity on this.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's just so they can have rules. It's fine.
Right.
Go fuck yourself, man.
I would say that he did not consult a constitutional attorney or a civil rights attorney. He didn't tell me that.
He didn't even read the damn bill.
Yeah. No, he told me, he said from what he was told, that's what he said earlier. But he's buddy with JD, so
we don't bother to do our own work. We just go
right.
off what people say.
Yep.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think he's going to walk right into another term because I don't think anybody's going to run against him. It'll be what it'll be.
He said, we need alcohol for this.
Here we go.
PFAS chemicals would no longer be recognized as PFAS in this state.
That's probably
without
true,
this
Wanda.
amendment, we'd be carving out products like children's mattresses and bedding.
There's a
play
good
mats,
one down in
carpets,
Henry County.
All that have chemicals added in that are not essential, that are not necessary, and where commercial alternatives do.
I know, bro.
Unless we pass this
ACLU
amendment,
is fighting that
chemicals
25
added
foot
into
rule.
children's products would no longer be recognized as PFAS by the
We
state.
all knew that was unconstitutional when they passed it. ACLU was just waiting for them to enact it against somebody. And
how do I go back home and say I fought to keep these products in infant products? Instead, we can preserve the essential use without excluding an entire family of chemicals that are added to baby products and without excluding the most toxic chemical threatening the health and safety of firefighters. For those important distinctions,
You're right, bro.
I ask you today that we do not experiment with a man-made definition of PFAS.
it's just ridiculous that they pass things that they know are going to hurt people. They know will not stand in court, but they pass them anyway, and then we have to wait until somebody screws up to take them to court. I mean, the money that gets wasted.
Wow, look at this. Look at this.
I thought Prescott wanted to protect babies. He's 100% pro-life, you know?
Yeah, right. Chris Wells, a no.
All the members voted. Tally the roll. Roll call shows 28 ayes, 66 noes. The amendment has been defeated. Are there further amendments? Chair sees none. Bills over to engrossment. We'll return back to the top of the second reading calendar. House Bill 1001, Representative Goodrich. Chair hands down. Second reading House Bill 1001.
House Bill 1001, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning education.
Bill's ready for amendment. Recommend engrossment. Representative Delaney, House motion.
Jack, I've been in here, but I'll
House Bill
look right
1001,
now.
Amendment 2. Mr. Speaker, I move that.
For the motion is second. The chair recognizes
Or
Representative
Joe,
Delaney.
sorry,
Speak on
not
the amendment.
Jack, Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've
Yeah, I
prepared this
saw it was in
amendment
there.
after Consultation with people in the
Okay.
private and public
That's for
education
after
system, and
this.
Of course, after
Yes.
lengthy consultation with Brother Goodrich, he and I have been hitting this tennis ball back and forth over the net for quite some time. This amendment is simple and in my view would be in lieu of almost any other amendment, including all those that I've prepared. And what it does is it achieves two things. It first of all buys us time to carry out this program. The proposal under 1001 adds what amounts to apprenticeships, internships, skills training in the post-high school phase. That is something that we have not done, and does it in a very elaborate and complex way, and we're constantly improving how that does. I believe it is important to have adequate time to get this rolled out. We did something similar last year in what was 1002 last year, and we had some problems. I guess they're inevitable, but the pace at which we tried to move was much faster than was appropriate. I think we can avoid that problem with this bill. This bill affects schools, universities, employers, so-called intermediaries who try to arrange them to work together. It affects labor unions. It goes on and on. It's a vast, vast importance. It is our first and best chance, in my view, to end the debate about whether we want people to have higher education or whatever education is appropriate in the way of a skill training. We got to end that debate. So this amendment will allow us to tighten things up over the course of
Why don't you
another year.
just
And
do
how
what
it
Germany
that, it
does?
puts
Test
down
everybody and tell them
a
what they're going to
requirement
go to
that the
school for, and
funding
what
that the
school they're allowed to go
Yeah,
to,
right.
and what job they're allowed to have.
employers or students or people who match
Problem
employers and
solved.
students, that those payments will not start until July 1 of next year. In addition to giving us time to make the system work, it gives us an opportunity to make a big decision. As the bill stands, and I'm not changing the language, as the bill stands, we would start out essentially immediately taking funds from the 21st Century Scholar and Frank O'Bannon programs, which have been well regarded, I believe, long-standing, and help with higher education. We would be taking money from those to move into this program. The amount is not clear. It would be substantial, but it isn't clear. And I think if we're going to do that, we need to do that in a budget year where the Ways and Means Committee can sit down and say, how much money goes in this pot? Is it one pot or two pots? And how do we divide this money? And I'm hopeful that you will endorse this amendment, which I think will make the program more effectual and more effective in the long run. Thank you.
First discussion on the amendment. Representative Goodrich, speak on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I just want to address this amendment. We're in a quite a long
Oh, this
time
tool
workforce
bag
crisis, and I am very excited about
who
House Bill.
literally lines his
last
own
year,
pocket
and
with
again
every
this year,
education bill they
leadership
pass.
Of making workforce
Yeah,
development.
I'm surprised
happen
he's
in
even here.
post-secondary. And I think that's the big discussion is post-secondary and that after high school. And so, look, I agree that these scholarships and the change timing is quick if we don't move it. So I
They
just
spelled
support
get
the
wrong.
amendment. I ask you to support the amendment. But the thing that I want to make sure we support is getting 1001, getting it done, and making sure once and for all that we do actually take care of the 45% of the kids that don't go to secondary college and go to an apprenticeship or go to a career education.
Chris Well
So with
just
that,
messaged me again and said,
support
that's
the
why I
amendment.
wanted
They
to let you
change,
know my
it
decision.
only
I understand your
changes the
concerns and
20%
wanted to
for
bring those
Scholar
up and was
and
assured it would
Franklin
not
Man, and the
affect
rest
people's
of
First
it
Amendment
stays,
rights.
July 1st,
I appreciate our
2024.
phone
So
call, and it
I
did bring
appreciate
up
all the
some points I
testimony
wanted to get clarity on.
over
We are on
education and
opposite
ways and
sides
means. I
of
think the
this,
bills
but we can be
continue
on
to
the
get
same
better,
side at another
and,
time.
So I'll look forward to sending to the Senate. Thank you.
I'll be on your side when you're not in the State House. We can play basketball on the same team, or whatever you want to do.
All those in favor indicate
But
saying aye.
I just want you out of the
Those
State
opposed,
House
no.
now.
Motion is adopted. Are there further amendments? House motion, Representative Porter.
House Bill 1001, Amendment 9. Mr. Speaker, I move that House Bill 1001.
For the motion and a second, the chair recognizes Representative
But I
Porter.
respect him for at least messaging me back. That's something J.D. Prescott
Thank you,
would
Mr.
not
Speaker,
do.
Mr. Leader, ladies and gentlemen of the House. This is amendment number 9, I do believe. And what this amendment does is it provides that Indiana adjusted gross income is add back for forgiving student loan debt. We've heard a lot of conversation in the last year or two regarding
Yes, sir,
student
Joe.
loan debt. And what this motion does is the language.
I told him when
removes
it does.
Indiana individual income.
I told it when it
tax
did
liability
affect
from
my
anyone
rights, I'd call him and
helps
let him pay the
a
bail
student
on
loan
the
debt.
bullshit unlawful arrest
There are a lot of
and let
there are a
him
lot
put
of
the legal
small
fight.
towns that are trying to entice or bring workers to their towns. And one of the amenities that's there is that they will pay off their student loans. They bring educators there, other public type service workers. So what this does is asking that once that is paid by individual or company, that they are not settled with dollars in paying off that student loan. It's pretty tough when you're trying to get rid of debt, and then federal government, Biden administration forgives.
You know the worst thing that's bothering me right now
and then you're taxed
is the fact that
loan
this is
that
happening.
were forgiven. So
This cord
that's
is
basically what this
going
does. I
underneath
think
this
it's
thing
important for us if we want to continue
and
to
making it
bring
cattywampered.
individuals, to this state and make it
Why
amenable
aren't-
that we
They're the
have
State House
programs
and they
like
can't
this to
figure out a way to
help
drill through the
individuals
table
to
and get
alleviate
rid of that.
debt, because as we all know, debt is very high when it comes to students. Debt here in the state of Indiana, I
Yeah.
think the average is about 30 to 35,000.
We'll find out, Lisa.
Average. There's others
need
who are a lot
somebody to
more
run
in
down
regards to
there.
student debt. Thank you, Mr. Speaker,
Yeah.
Mr. Leader, ladies and gentlemen of the House.
If anybody is
Roll call. State your point, Representative Smalt.
in Henry or Rush County wants to run
Smaltz notes that
Got
appears the amendment
till February 9th.
Number 80. Germaneness, the chair will stand in recess as the chair considers a point of order.
Oh, goody, another point of order. Somebody fart twice,
Yeah, right. That's exactly.
and they were only allowed to
exactly
fart
right.
once.
And I thought that this was going to be a quick deal. Everything, you know what? The 1338 will be quick.
Oh yeah.
It'll be bang, bang, pow, and all this other shit. is
Anybody
gonna
object?
be-
No, good. Okay. Boop.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to.
No, the third reading, they actually have to do an actual vote.
Yeah.
It might take,
5 minutes.
90 seconds or so instead of, the usual 10. Yeah, we need make sure you grab a screenshot of the vote so we know who to
Oh, yes.
create public enemy number 1 through 100.
Yeah, when they get closer to it, I'll pull it up on my phone and I'll take
Screenshot
several
that shit.
screenshots. Because I'm sure it'll take a while before they add it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you can't even have transparency during the actual session. I mean, he lets that kid get out House bill, whatever, to amend the Indiana code to boop. To amend the Indiana code to what?
Yeah, right. Yeah, Joe.
Oh, Joe definitely needs to.
Yeah. I mean, I would kind of like to see you serve out your full
mayoral term, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, they play it so loose with stuff. I mean, why not let him have a dual lucrative position?
Yeah, right.
There
we go.
The chair considers a point well taken.
Considers a point well
Further
taken.
amendments? Point of personal privilege. Representative Porter. Representative Porter for point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Sturwall's first name is Gregory, so is mine. So
thank you. That's excellent, Representative Porter.
Mr. Speaker, that is the battle with us. The Gregory means watchful. We're watching you. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope we understand what we're doing when we're talking about this whole liability in regards to tax.
I hope we understand what we're doing.
With higher ed.
Yeah.
I think it's perfectly apparent that none of you do.
Higher ed, to a certain degree, Commission on Higher
Well,
Education. If you look at everything within the all
we understand.
code.
That'll be a short.
Oh yeah.
Does deal with 1001 does deal with education and
I marked it here for you. It's a little bit after, but it'll make it easier to find
this
it.
is part of those students who have started the process, who have taken out loans that to forgive those loans in regards to attract.
They don't care. They got the almighty R by their name. They'll be fine. Remember, that's the motto of all government. I'm sure it's fine.
All aligns itself with the quality of life and attracting new people to their various communities, to small towns, not necessarily large towns, but to your small rural communities. And I appreciate the speaker giving me this opportunity to speak. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Are there further amendments? Chair sees none. The bill's over to engrossment. We'll move to the third reading calendar. House Bill 1004, Representative Cherry.
Here we go.
Third readings. Great.
Chair hands down final passage, House Bill 1004.
House Bill 1004, a bill for an act concerning pension.
Chair recognizes Representative Cherry to speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My co-authors on this bill
Oh, that's good.
Representative Porter, Representative Karikoff, and Representative Meltzer. This is the 13th check bill, and a little history of this, we passed this similar measure last session in this House, but the Senate did not pick it up. In fact, we passed out of the last, since 2022, we've had the 13th check 28 out of the last 32 years. So it's something we've gone used to, but what we're trying to address are public employees, retirees, which is the Teacher Retirement Fund, the Public Employees Retirement Fund, the State Excise Police, gaming agents, gaming control officers, conservation officers.
The 13th check.
The State Police Pre-87 Benefit Program and the State Police 87 Benefit Program. So it affects about 96,000 Hoosiers and roughly 9,200, roughly 9.8% receives a monthly benefit of $200 or less a month. 67.
Wow, this will go into effect if it passes July 1st, 2024. I mean, they are wanting it in.
$150, and it's be based on your length of service, but we're really talking about the people that has retired many years ago, and they need these funds for the increased cost of food, transportation, heating bills, medicine is darling need for these older retirees in the state retirement fund. And I would urge support for this. We have money in the account. It does not have to be a budget item. And so there's money. We're not opening the budget up, but there's money to fund this, and I appreciate your support.
For discussion on the bill, Representative Clinker, speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I do want to thank the folks in this House and Ways and Means Budget Committee for passing this last year. It did not die in the House. Well, we made that perfectly clear. But hopefully it's going to go through the House again, as it did through Ways and Means. And I wore my teacher's tie today in support of this bill. So please vote yes. And thank you, Representative Cherry, for what you did for the 13th check. It means a lot to teachers. Thank you so much.
For discussion on the bill, Representative Porter, speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Leader, ladies and gentlemen of the House. Thank you, Representative Cherry and others that are on this bill. We have been working on this bill for a number of years. It continues to come out of the House and then it becomes stagnated on the Senate side. I just don't understand them sometimes. And those of us who've been around for a while, we're still trying to figure them out when it comes to particularly the 13th check. You know, this is an obligation that we have to our constituents, to our teachers and public employees. And I know I'm talking to the choir and I'm not going to close 3 times, but I just want to say thank you for this affirmative vote. Our retirees should not have to struggle. Gas is up, utilities are up, housing costs are up.
Gas is up because you fools won't do anything about this automatic raising of the gas.
Yeah, right.
So what we're asking is for us to continue to kick this 13th check motion out, send it over to the Senate. So, and hopefully we will have some sensible legislation that come back to take care of the almost 100,000 Hoosiers that we have in our state. We know our obligation. We will do our obligation. Let's hope that the Senate would take up the right mantle to move in the right positive direction to take care of Hoosiers here in the state of Indiana who has helped build this state, from education to our public workers in our state. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Ladies and gentlemen in the House.
For discussion on the bill, Chair sees none. The author has the right to close. Chair recognizes Representative Cherry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thanks for the comments on this, and I hope you for your vote as well. One thing I might add, going forward, we'll probably have to have a hybrid where the older retirees would have a 13th check and the more recent retirees would have a 1% COLA. A 1% COLA for the ones that are making $200 would be $24 a year. So a 1% COLA would not help them unless we give them more than a 1% COLA, and we couldn't afford that. And even the $800 a year, that's be only $96 for a 1% COLA. So a hybrid is what we need to be going to give the safety net for the lower end, but also would help. We wouldn't have to be a 13 check down the road. So I know Representative Thompson and Senator Buchanan on the pension management oversight worked on a hybrid going forward. So I look forward to that down the road as a hybrid. Thank you.
Question is on the final passage of the bill. All those in favor will, when the machine is open, vote aye. Those opposed to vote no.
Well, hello there, Catherine. Wow, look at all those yeses.
While the members vote, tally the roll. Roll call shows 97 ayes, 0 noes. The bill has passed. The title bill remain the title of the act. Clerk shall inform the Senate that passes the bill. Senate sponsors. Senators Buchanan, Bray, Kreider, and Niskotsky. House Bill 1026, Representative Engelmann. Oop, chair hands down on final passage, House Bill 1026. Hold on one second.
What? We've
House
got
Bill 1026, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning general provision.
Chair recognizes Representative Engelmann to speak on the bill.
we've got this one and 7
Thank
more.
you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House.
I'm trying to
House
figure
Bill
out why that kid even
1026,
needs a
I'd
piece
like
of
to thank my
paper. Is he
co-author,
worried
Yeah,
that
what's
he's
the point?
has to amend the Indiana code too?
The four of us all serve.
But
on
he's
code
going to have to
revision
know what it says, what the
committees,
next
so
word
this
is, in
bill
Yeah.
case he's a
came
little
out of
slow on
committee, so we all
the
voted
gavel.
Yeah.
on this bill. I'm going to give you a little history because if I didn't sit on code revision, I'd have no idea where this thing came from. It was a 2-year project that started with Code Revision Commission.
I hope
in
that
the
pay
summer
that
of
kid pretty well for
2022.
sitting there
This
only to be
project was
gavelled
necessary
down.
He's probably a
because many
volunteer.
boards,
times a
commissions,
day.
etc. are currently
He has probably
missing
some little
information
boys
such as
doing his
Lisa, we'll be live at 9 p.m.
how's a chair elected, and how to fill a vacancy.
And this
The
will
goal of
always
this
be
project
here.
was to standardize boards, commissions,
Joe,
committees, and task
Joe,
force
because
in
other
Indiana
people
Code.
don't step
In
up and run, good
2022,
people.
Code Revision Commission developed
And
standard
when they do,
criteria
the
that was
state
adopted and
house
put into the
of
LSA drafting
what is it?
manual, so
The
that going
House
forward, newly created
Republican
entities would include all the
Committee.
necessary
committee,
criteria,
caucus
such
committee
as per diem, who staffs, what
that dumps hundreds of thousands of dollars into people's.
It's
coffers
money, but at the
so that
bottom,
each
at the bottom
entity
line,
type
there's more of us than
signifies
them.
that
If
the
we would just go
entity is
vote, we
legislative,
would win. But
executive, or judicial.
people don't do that.
Also in 2022, the Code Revision Commission charged LSA with drafting a bill that would go back and update current entities that are already in statute. House Bill 1026 is a result of that request. So the original bill came straight from the commission. To draft the bill, LSA and caucus staff worked with the governor's office to determine what entities are currently doing if the criteria was missing from the statute. The goal of this bill is to reorganize, standardize, and fill in the gaps for current boards, committees, commissions, and task forces in statute. Not every entity is included in this bill, but most entities involving legislative appointments are included. Some examples of what was changed in order to standardize: ensuring the agency that staffs the entity is stated in the statute, even if there is an assumption, so it makes clear who's providing staff support. Creating standard language for paying mileage, per diem, and travel makes sure there are no separation of power issues and it's clear who is paying. Making standard term lengths so that legislative appointments are 2 years in length and end June 30th of odd-numbered years. Executive appointments are 4 years and end either June 30th of odd-numbered years or December 31st of odd-numbered years. In committee, we did an amendment, which was, this was vetted in government and regulatory reform and taken by consent. And the committee amendment was continuing the process the Code Revision Commission had started. The commission approved the filed version of House Bill 1026. Since the October commission meeting, it was determined that some more reorganization and changes were needed. The amendment does the following: clarifies the year that the terms will end, restructures Indiana Code 2-5 to make it clear the criteria for all legislative committees and task force, and ensures all those entities are located within Indiana Code 2-5 instead of other areas of the Indiana Code. And it made some smaller changes in criteria that were left out of the filed version. This passed out of government and regulatory reform. The amended bill did 10-0. I think it's a very important bill. I like the order that this brings to the process, and I would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Engelmann. Further discussion? Chair sees none. The author has the right to close. She waives it. All those in favor will, when the machine is open, vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. Representative Moed, would you like to vote? Have all the members voted? Tally the
Wow.
roll. Roll call shows 93 ayes, 0 no. The bill is passed. Shall the title of the bill remain the title of the act? Senate sponsors? Senator Freeman. Chair recognizes Representative Nagel. House Bill 1058. Chair hands down House Bill 1058 on third reading.
House Bill 1058, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code.
Representative Nagel, you recognize to speak on final passage of your bill.
Does this
Thank you,
mean we get
Speaker,
to
and
listen
thank
to
you, ladies and gentlemen
JD
of the
talk
House.
and lie?
House Bill 1058.
Probably.
Is
Goody.
in regards to dense breast notification. Mammograms are an essential part of a woman's health and the direction of breast cancer. The FDA regulates mammography facilities, equipment, inspections, and standards for accreditation. Those regulations also cover what information the radiologist who reads the mammogram report must provide to the patient and her healthcare provider.
Is there an idiot in
On
this
March 10th
discussion
of
about
2023,
mammograms
the
causing
FDA issued
orgasms like
updated
tampons
regulations
do?
that are required
I'm
to be
sure.
implemented by September 10th of 2024. And those updated regulations expand the information required to be shared with patients and their healthcare professionals, allowing for more informed medical decision-making.
Oh, Joe.
The focus of the updated notification rule is on whether the woman has dense breasts. This term refers to a mix of fat, milk glands, and ducts, and fibrous tissue in a breast. The more glands and
Oh,
fibrous
yeah.
tissue a woman has, the denser her breast tissue is. And over 40% of women over the age of 40 have dense breasts. So this is very common and normal. Dense tissue looks similar on a mammogram to cancerous tissue. Because of this, it is harder for a radiologist to see cancer. As a result, cancer can be missed and not found until it is larger or at a later stage. Under the new rule, letters will be required to tell a woman that her breasts are either dense or not. The tissue makes it harder to find cancers or a mammogram, and that it increases the risk of breast cancer. Women with dense breasts will also be told to talk to their healthcare provider about what additional imaging tests must make sense in their specific situation. Providing patient access to information about the impact that density of breasts and other factors that have on risks for developing breast cancer is an important part of comprehensive breast health strategy. Indiana has dense breast notification language in code, which was last updated in 2016, but is vague, it is not informative. It focuses on the creation of an education program through the medical licensing board, as opposed to directly providing information to the patient with her mammogram results. House Bill 1058 will put our law into compliance with new FDA requirements, but more importantly, will provide women and their doctors with information to make better decisions and detect breast cancer earlier. In committee, we added an amendment to
It's a
further
good
define
point, Danny.
reconstructive
What
surgery
about
after a
man
mastectomy to
boobs?
include
Men
chest
can get
wall
breast cancer
reconstruction
too.
with aesthetic flat chest closure. Not all
Yes.
women choose to have breast reconstruction, and in some cases, they are better off due to the severity of their cancer. This bill passed unanimously out of committee, and I would appreciate your support.
Thank you, Representative Nagel. Further discussion on the bill. Representative Fleming, you're recognized to speak on the bill.
I bet JD was sitting there squirming in his seat every time she said the word
And
breast.
ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the women in this room, and then you think about your wives, your daughters, your sisters, 1 out of 8 women in this country will have a diagnosis of breast cancer in their lifetime. It is a widespread disease, and the issue
Oh,
that this
testicular
bill addresses
cancer, stumblefoot.
has prevented many women from an accurate
This
diagnosis
is
and earlier
equality.
essential treatment. So I would urge you to support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fleming. Further discussion, Representative Pryor. Speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Representative Nago, for bringing this very important bill.
Oh,
And I just really want
they're
to
all
express
very
prevention,
important. Every
prevention,
bill
Yes.
is
prevention.
very important.
The sooner a woman knows whether or not she has breast cancer,
Are any
the
men
better
going to get up and talk about
it
this?
is for
I
survival.
would hope not.
This bill will give a woman that opportunity. A woman with dense breasts cannot just have a regular mammogram. There may be additional screenings and tests that are necessary in order for her to get an accurate diagnosis as to whether or not she has breast cancer. So this is a prevention bill, a early detection bill, and a bill that will ensure that more women that do have breast cancer have a better opportunity for actually surviving and getting treatment early on in the process, and they're not in stage 3 or 4. So thank you, Representative Nagel, for bringing this important bill. This is a life-saving opportunity for so many women in the Hoosier State. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Pryor. Further discussion on the bill? There is none. The author has the right to close and waives it. The question is on the final passage of the bill. All those will, when the machine is open, vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. Have all the members voted? Tally the roll. Roll call shows 93 voting aye, 0 voting no. The bill is passed. Shall the title of the bill remain the title of the act? Senate sponsors. Senator Lysing. Clerk shall inform the Senate of the passage of the bill. Representative Lehman, House Bill 1158. Chair hands down on final passage, House Bill 1158.
This is almost
House Bill
as exciting
1158,
as
a bill
watching
for an
paint
act.
dry.
Representative Lehman, you're recognized to speak on your bill.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, House Bill 1158 addresses and brings clarity to an issue around county officials' ability to enter into contracts. This addresses those who have the constitutional and statutory authority to do this. The result of this comes out of some litigation. It also comes out of
Who
the actions
is
of
Levi
some office
Tucker?
holders. We've worked throughout the summer on this issue with all the parties involved. And what I bring before you is that consensus, which is House Bill 1158. So the first thing this thing does is it creates a contract mechanism, some parameters around what a contract should do. First of all, the entire thing excludes Marion County as a consolidated city. They have their county executive as the mayor, and so we're taking them out. This is now between the office holders in the county and the commissioners. On second reading amendments, we excluded the building corporations when it comes to the bonding for payment obligations, et cetera. So that's out. So the contract must do a couple of things. The contract must be in the name of the county. Number two is any real property, personal property, goods and services, all of that shall be titled to the county entity. And then by ordinance, the commissioners can establish some contractual language as parameters that they would like to see included. Section 2 of this bill creates a new language around signing of those contracts. Again, Marion County is out. What it does is it says if you want to enter into a contract for goods and services on the county's behalf, you have a couple things you can do. One is you must submit to the commissioners or to the auditor a notice of what you want to do, what you want to put in your contract. Then that has to be given to the commissioner, president of the commissioners. They have 20 days to review and respond. And then that is also submitted to the county attorney for review for liability exposure and in compliance with other laws. The conditions of the contract must be that it has to meet the contractual requirements of Section 1, that is for goods and services carried out by your constitutional duties, and 3 is that the money has been appropriated. If that contract is reviewed and is okay, then either party can sign, commissioners or the sheriff or the clerk or whoever that county official is. If the commissioners do not like that language, they can suggest back to that entity within that 20-day window. They can submit a suggestion for amended language. If it's refused by the commissioners, then they give that new request, new language to that office holder. Then the office holder has a right to amend that request and refile it. Or if it meets the contracts in Section 1 of what has to be in the contract, they can go ahead and sign that contract. Once those contracts have been executed, they are submitted to the auditor within 10 days. If they are not submitted to the auditor within 10 days, those contracts are voided. The auditor then must submit that to the Indiana Transparency website, Gateway, and that is the bill. Like I said, the parties involved in this have come to a good consensus on this. I want to thank Chairman May, Representative Sturwald, Representative Johnson, and other county attorneys who have weighed in. Thank you, and I appreciate your support.
Thank you, Representative Lehman. Further discussion on the bill? The chair sees none. The author has the right to close. He waives it. All those will, when the machine is open, vote aye. Those opposed will vote no.
Oh, goody.
All right, folks.
All the
Coming
members
up.
voted. Tally the roll. Roll call shows 92 voting ayes, 0 voting no.
Is that 11:58?
Bill remain the title act.
Yeah.
Senate sponsors.
We're 4 away.
Senate shall inform.
4
House-
away.
The clerk shall inform the Senate of the passage of the bill. Representative Hall. Chair hands down House Bill 1163 on final passage.
House Bill 1163, a bill.
Representative Hall, you recognized to speak on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. House Bill 1163 is aimed at removing an administrative burden and encouraging more local generation for electric.
Does it Stumblefoot? That's hilarious.
Indiana is home to 38 distribution cooperatives and 2 generation and transmission cooperatives. Together, they serve over 1.3 million Hoosiers. REMCs are currently required to go through a costly and time-consuming process seeking certification for small generation projects known as the Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity at the IURC. REMCs are member-owned and governed by a board of directors elected by their member owners. For that reason, their rates and charges are not regulated by the IURC like investor-owned utilities. House Bill 1163 seeks to address this hurdle by exempting REMCs from the CPCN requirement for small generation projects with a capacity of 10 megawatts or less. This exemption already applies to the Indiana Municipal Power Agency and its 61 municipalities, serving roughly 330,000 consumers. While the bill removes the CPCN requirement for projects that are 10 megawatts or less, a notification obligation still remains. This ensures transparency and oversight while focusing on simplifying the development
transparency
and construction
again.
processes for REMC.
Yay. Yeah, I love it.
In conclusion, this legislation is a pivotal step towards empowering your local REMCs and encouraging grid resiliency and reliability. It sets the stage for a more streamlined and efficient process for developing and constructing small generation projects.
This makes it easier for
This bill
them to
passed
put
out
in
of the
solar.
12-0 with bipartisan support. I would also like to thank my co-authors, Representative
So the solar
Holliday,
companies will give us more money so we can get reelected.
and I would appreciate your support for House Bill 1160.
This helps us
Thank you, Representative
all.
Hall. Further discussion on the bill? Representative Pierce to speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just think this bill will give a little more flexibility to the rural electrics who are doing a lot of different kind of newer innovative generation projects. So I think it'll be helpful in that regard.
Further discussion on the bill? The chair's Representative Porter. Will the author yield? Representative Hall yields.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Leaders, ladies and gentlemen of the House. Representative Hall, congratulations on your selection or whatever to the General Assembly. Now, is this your first bill?
No, this is my second.
Your second bill?
Yeah.
So when was your first bill?
It was last year. I had the financial literacy class for students before they
You
graduate.
did you have a beard at that time?
I did.
Oh, you did? Did you have a goatee at that time?
A little what?
A goatee?
No.
Oh, there you go. I got you. Okay, well, I tell you, I think this is a pretty good piece of legislation, but I don't understand the certification of public convenience and necessity. Could you kind of unpack that for me, please?
Yeah, so they have to go to the IURC. It takes a lot of time and money to present their case. The IURC doesn't review their integrated resource plan at an REMC, so they
Look, it's a bromance on the House floor.
So there's a fiscal if I may, there's a fiscal impact to the RMC in regards to doing this?
If they went through that process, there would be.
Do they pass that on to the rate? Do they pass the rate on to the taxpayers?
They would.
You don't know how much that would be?
No, there's been 12, I think, in the last 20 years that have gone through that process. So this would remove that cost and that burden from ratepayers.
Okay, because I have a whole lot of RMCs in my district.
Oh,
so.
they asked for it. They like this bill.
Yeah, they did ask for it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
very much,
my.
Mr. Lieutenant.
Yeah, it's flirting.
Further discussion on the bill. Chair sees none. The author has the right to close. He waives it. The question is on the final passage of the bill. All those in favor will, when the machine is open, vote aye. Those opposed will vote no.
Machine is open now.
Oh, there's some dissension in the ranks.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, no. They hit the wrong button.
Oh.
I was just joking when that.
Yes, no.
Yeah, that's what I would
All the
do.
members voted.
I would sit there and do it.
Tally the roll.
and play
Until
it
the
this
thing
way.
ran out.
Yeah, and just see whichever one it was is what it would be. That's how I would do.
Clerk will inform the Senate of the passage of the bill. Senate
The
sponsors.
way the crap goes through here, I
Senator
think
Cook.
I'd just sit there and vote no on everything.
Yes, vote no. I'm going to vote no on
just-
everything.
I'm voting no on everything. No,
Chair hands down on final
no, you're
passage.
screwing
House Bill
taxpayers. No, you're screwing taxpayers. No.
I was like the
Bill
guys in
1216,
Congress that won't
a bill
vote
for an
on
act to
any
amend the Indiana
resolutions.
Yeah.
Representative Stillwell, you're recognized to speak on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. This is a follow-up bill from House Bill 1006 from last year. If
Oh,
you
goody.
remember, two
We
very
didn't
important
screw you over
We
hard
didn't get
enough
it
with
right.
the first
Yeah,
one, so we
right.
got
to
to
enhance
try
the ability
again.
for hospitals and mental health facilities to admit an individual having mental
Hey,
health
speaking
issues
of hospitals,
and
what's going on
ensure
down there in
ensure
Henry County with the
give
security
them
at the hospitals
the-
now?
some qualified immunity to enhance their ability to take these people and give
Oh,
them the
Christopher's
treatment that they
reading
need.
and ignoring me.
What-
We
what?
worked with all the
I said, what's going,
interested
speaking of
parties
hospitals,
to work on
they're
language
talking
to
about
ensure
hospitals.
payment, but that has
What's going
not
on down in
occurred. So
Henry
we will
County
begin
since the
this
sheriff
fall
pulled
with
the
all the interested parties, and they testified.
powers of the security at the
This is
hospital?
the new language. It is to ensure payment on the emergency detention orders.
Say that one more time.
These people are either
Remember
gonna be
Sproles said
in
that
the
he was
hospital or
going to
mental health
yank the
facilities receiving treatment,
powers
care,
of the.
Oh, I've not heard anything about that yet.
there are. So,
Well, he
and
said the
last
letter
thing
was
we
going
did,
out
or second
that
thing we did in
day.
the
Yeah,
bill,
yeah, I have not heard anything
last
about
year,
them
we
yet.
wanted to ensure last year's current law that the doctors could talk to family and friends and get facts from them as
No,
part of
Joe
the
hasn't heard
petition for
anything
the,
either.
emergency detention order. The courts have said that we didn't quite get
I've been
that.
kind of worried
say
about that.
language Quite,
I mean,
quite correctly, so we've done that here. So
It's kind of important that the hospital be able to have
Thank you,
security staff.
Representative Stillwell, is there
Yeah.
further discussion on the bill? Chair sees
Oh,
none.
yeah.
The author has the right to close. He
Sproles
waives
Watch
it.
2024
Question is on
never
the final
ends,
passage of
man.
The bill, all those will, when the machine is open, vote aye. Those opposed will vote no.
Oh, see, you added that caveat. If Sproles was smart, and that's where the argument ends.
Have all the
Yes,
members
yes,
voted?
yes.
Tally the roll. Roll call shows 93 voting aye, 0 voting no. The bill is passed. Shall the title of the bill remain the title of the act? Clerk shall inform the Senate. of
Have we
its
had
passage.
any
Senate
votes yet
sponsors,
today where there's been a no?
Senator Johnson,
Oh, yeah, there was that one.
Charbonneau, and Brown. Representative Barrett, House Bill 1260. Chair hands down House Bill 1260 on final passage.
House Bill 1260, a bill for an act to amend the
Representative Barrett, you're recognized to present your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, House Bill 1260 comes
A
to us
couple.
from the Department of Health and actually clarifies some of the issues that we've worked on the last several legislative sessions, including the whole issue of involuntary transfer from nursing facilities. Last year, as we did the omnibus bill to deal with assisted living space, the issue of how to deal with a difficult patient in that space was debated, and we didn't quite come to a conclusion. Working with all stakeholders, we've been able to solve
We know
that
what
by
the State House
using the
likes to do
Office of
with
Administrative
difficult
Law
people.
to do
We do know
hearings
what
on
the State
these,
House does with
cases.
difficult people.
And it was just
if you don't do what Todd
difficult
Houston
space
wants,
to make a decision in, but all stakeholders have agreed
You
upon
go to
this solution.
jail.
We dealt with the charge for lab fees within the department and allowed them to use the Medicare or Medicaid rates. We worked in the home health agency field and amended the list of crimes that practitioners that are non-licensed prohibit them from seeking employment. There were several technical changes. We removed the sunset date for the Maternal Mortality Review Committee, which has made great strides. We have shifted to a time temperature standard for food safety, away from the difficult discussion of hazardous foods. And finally, we added Department of Health MD to the Rare Disease Advisory Council. We also changed the date on that so that upon enactment, that seat would be available as they meet on a monthly basis. I appreciate everyone's support for this bill. Thank you.
Further discussion on the bill?
Oh, no, Joe. He's concerned
sees
about
none.
the liability of the
Questions
county, and
waived.
that's why he
Questions on the
pulled it.
adoption of the bill? When the
And he
show
has a
open, all
brother and
those
mother
in
wants
favor
that
will
job.
vote aye. Those opposed will vote no.
Yes, 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 yes. No. Oh, God. My brain went to Mel Brooks. Yes, 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 yes.
Of all the members voted, tally the roll. Roll call shows 95 ayes, 0 noes. The bill has passed. The title bill remains the title of the act. Clerk shall for and send the pass.
we're coming up on it, folks.
Senator Charbonneau. House Bill 1338. Chair recognizes Representative Prescott.
Oh, goody.
Here we go.
Yay!
Chair hands down on final passage. House Bill 1338.
House Bill 1338, a bill for an act to amend the Indiana Code concerning state.
Chair recognizes Representative Prescott. Speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House. House Bill 1338. First,
He's
I'm
even
gonna
got a
give you
tie bar
backstory
on, but
as
it's
to
still
how
crooked.
This came to forefront for me. So a couple years ago, my local elected officials reached out, let me know about a problem that they were having with individuals showing up, disrupting public meetings. I encouraged them to adopt a set of rules of decorum, kind of like what we have.
A couple years ago, did he say?
So
Yeah.
after that first meeting, after adopting their rules of decorum, chaos kind of broke out during that first meeting. They were having trouble enforcing them. Law enforcement wasn't quite sure how to handle it at the time.
Why is law enforcement not? If they're not, they shouldn't be in their jobs.
Consulting with Association of Counties, AIM.
They do. Oh my God, Yoko.
This is Shane Lindenauer.
1338. Establish a basic set of rules of decorum and
How
local
nervous
government
is he?
meetings. It applies only to local
Look at his
government meetings.
handshake.
It does not include school boards or charter schools. Reason for that is there's legislation here recently that just changed how those meetings affect school corporations. So
Yeah,
I did not
speaking
want
of
to
the
touch
mic,
that code that we
Shane.
addressed just last year. If a governing body allows attendees to speak at a topic in a meeting,
If I
or
was
a
Shane
governing body
Lindenauer, I'd be
designates
mad.
I would be pissed.
for a period of time, the public testimony that is before or during the governing body's discussion or consideration of the topic, and before the governing body takes final action on the topic, they can address the amount of time allocated for attendees to speak. The governing body may adopt rules and reasonable rules of policies governing the conduct of a meeting, including any of the following reasonable restrictions on the time allotted to attendees to speak on the topic, to maintain order, and then also they have to adopt a policy for the presiding officer to enforce these rules of decorum. or by the three strikes you're
Jay's
out
having a
approach.
good time
If
in the
somebody
comments.
violates the rules of decorum, they get a verbal warning. If they continue to violate the rules of decorum, they get a second verbal warning. On the third offense, the presiding officer may ask the attendee to leave. If the attendee refuses to leave, at that point, the presiding officer can direct law enforcement to remove the attendee. Nothing in the section prohibits the law enforcement officers from immediately removing an individual if a criminal act is committed.
Nothing
or if the
permits that
or if
now.
removal of the attendee is necessary to maintain public order. On page 2, line 31, that code site that's referenced is actually our Indiana tort claim law, which is our version of qualified immunity to make sure that public employees and law enforcement officers are protected under a qualified immunity statute.
For when they
The
do shit
second
that's wrong.
section of the bill, it was originally drafted to just deal with public buildings, but we did open that up to all buildings or all property.
And just all everywhere.
The reason for the original intent for
you're
public
trespassing
buildings is
everywhere.
we had
Yeah.
these First
We
Amendment
put a
auditors
sign out
coming
that
in
says you can't
to
come
protect
in.
themselves, but they were really trespassing on private property. They were going past restricted access areas, behind locked doors, interrupting business inside of buildings. We did amend that during committee based on recommendation from actually
His mommy and daddy.
Representative Meltzer brought a court case to my attention that was Marion Young versus State of Indiana. So the reason for our changes in the trespass laws for this, there was a situation where in Vincennes there was a property where the owner had asked law enforcement to send extra patrols because he was having problems with people trespassing in a restricted access area. It was actually a loading dock. Law enforcement removed somebody there.
How does this have anything to do with elected
Was
officials?
actually convicted, but then on the appeal
On a loading
the
dock?
claim
Were they
was
doing
that the
stump
law
speeches
enforcement
there or
officer was not an
something?
agent of the
So we need to
property.
protect them from the public while they're doing
During
stump
the-
speeches at a
during the
loading
appellate
dock?
court decision, reading the opinion, they said that there are situations where it would be in the best interest to have law enforcement remove them, but they're not the General Assembly. They could not change the law. So they essentially, in that opinion, all but ask us to change that law.
You're barely
So
the
we did
General
that
Assembly.
by, saying if someone knowingly or intentionally enters or refuses to leave an area of a property that is marked restricted, enters or refuses to leave an area of a property
right,
that's
Joe.
designated as employee or authorization personnel only, or enters or refuses to leave an area of a property that is locked or otherwise not accessible to public without permission or prior authorization, that they'd be subject to Class A misdemeanor for trespass. With that, that's the intent of the bill. Thank you.
First discussion on the bill. Representative Bartlett, speak on the bill. You're out the yield, he yields.
Hey, get ready to take any
Yeah.
banner off.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Representative Prescott. Why is this bill necessary?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Without this legislation, the only thing that our locals have to use to enforce their rules of decorum is opinions by our public access council.
Is the state law.
So really what we're doing was we're codifying what Luke Britt has given in his opinions to enforce rules of decorum at local meetings.
Shouldn't taxpayers have that right to go to government meetings and question? And I don't think it'd be disruptive, but shouldn't they have that right?
Absolutely, taxpayers should have that right to show up at meetings, but they have to be so civilly. We need to, just like we're conducting business here today, right? We have rules of decorum, how we conduct business as a body, how we conduct business in our committee meetings as well. So yes, I want to make sure that everybody's First Amendment right is protected.
Bullshit.
And really what we have happening in Winchester, for example, where this, where the request came for this legislation, you have average everyday constituents that are being shut out from public meetings because a select few individuals interrupt, disrupt, and have to adjourn early or just get.
They've never adjourned
No one's
early.
adjourned early.
There's constituents that don't feel comfortable being at the meetings because of the way some of these individuals are.
Well,
acting.
since
So
he's been in jail, they
we're
haven't
trying to
showed
find
up,
here
so it
is
obviously
person
wasn't
A's
the
First
issue.
Amendment rights start to violate person B's First Amendment rights. We want to make sure everybody's treated equally under the law and can show up, air their grievances to the public, but we just want to do so in an orderly, respectful fashion.
Okay, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. My fear is, an elected person gets asked uncomfortable questions.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times questions are uncomfortable. But if you're an elected official, you should be able to handle that. And this bill kind of scares me from that perspective.
Yes,
I
sir.
see where you're going.
Thank you. Who is this guy?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Further discussion, Representative?
I like
Find
him.
out.
The author yield, he yields.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mr. Speaker,
Jesus.
ladies and gentlemen of the House. I apologize, Representative Prescott. I hold you in high regard, and I had into the bill in more depth early. I would have gotten a hold of you ahead of time. But my concern is, having served as a mayor, I know at times we would have individuals that would show up and get, a little rowdy, but not
violent,
not radically so. But one of the concerns that I have was some of those I think that have been asked before. Again, I just want to make sure that people who come and may just have just a disagreement with whether it be a city council or
It's okay to get
county
angry.
council meeting or whatever, that it's not taking away any of their rights to come and ask the questions and so forth that they normally would be able to do under normal circumstances.
Yeah, so this bill would not prohibit anybody from coming and asking questions. They could still do that.
Until they upset an elected official who says that they're being disruptive.
Adopting their rules of decorum, and they would do so with their legal counsel. I want to make sure nobody's First Amendment rights are violated. We want to make sure that civil discussions being had. That's all we're doing here.
So, look at this as removing any freedoms that people have had, as long as they are basically acting with decency in the meetings.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
Appreciate that.
Further discussion on the bill? Chair sees none. Would the author like to close? He waives it. Questions on final pass of the bill. The machine is open. All those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no.
Sad.
While the members voted, tally the roll. Roll call shows 78 ayes, 79 ayes, 17 noes. The bill has passed. No title bill remaining to tally the act. Clerk shall inform the Senate of the passage of the bill. Senate sponsors: Senators Rotz and Alexander. Consent to take committee reports out of order.
And Chris will voted yes. All of the Republicans did.
Mass. Chair hands down the following committee reports for adoption: House Bill 1132, House Bill 1194, House Bill 1412. Committee report.
I give Corey credit for reaching out to me and letting me know that he was going
Committee
to.
on Veterans Affairs and Public Safety, to which
Oh.
was referred House Bill 1132.
For the committee's reports, is there any discussion?
What's this?
Chair sees none. The question is on the adoption of committee reports. All those in favor indicate saying aye. Those opposed no. Committee reports are adopted. Pursuant to House Rule 127, the chair announces that House Bill 1194 is recommitted to the Committee on Ways and Means. Committee announcements.
Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, 8:30
Yeah.
a.m. Room 156C, Local Government. Please note that House Bill 1237 has been removed from the schedule. House Bill 1027, Fire Department Work Schedule, Representative
Joe's got
Hofstadter.
it.
House Bill
Only
1320, Unsafe
17 of
Building
these
Law,
crimes
Representative
stood by the
Zimmerman.
country's
House Bill
constitution.
1329, Local Government Matters, Representative Pressel. Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, 8:30 a.m. Room 156A, Public Health. House Bill 1327, Health and Insurance Matters, Representative Shibley, amend and vote only. House Bill 1259, Health
Is it a
Licensing
race,
Matters,
Alva?
Representative Barrett. House Bill 1414, Managed Care Organization Reimbursement, Representative Kirchhoff. House Bill
It could be.
1156, Report on Medicaid Behavior Analysis.
I know that if I go there and my
Representative Green.
rights are
House Bill
violated, the
1205,
first person
Community
I'm
Mental
reaching
Health
out to
Center
is Corey
reporting,
Criswell.
Representative Meltzer. Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, 8:30 a.m. Room 404, Roads and Transportation. Please note this meeting will be held in Room 404.
He
House
said
Bill
it couldn't
1090,
happen.
Transportation Matters, Representative Pressel, amend and vote only. House Bill 1162, Bureau of Motor Vehicles, Representative Pressel. House Bill 1308, Speed Limits, Representative Smaltz. Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, 10:30 a.m. Room 156C. Government and
The
Regulatory
nose
Reform, House Bill
knows.
1165,
The
Regulatory
kid
Sandbox
gets to
Program
read
and Right to
something
Start
in
Act,
its
Representative
entirety.
Pesca, amended vote only. House Bill 1387, Housing Development, Representative Miller D. Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, 10:30 a.m., room 156B, Public Policy. House Bill 1086, Alcoholic Beverage Sales, Representative Teschka. House Bill 1197, Alcohol and Tobacco Commission, Representative Manning. Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, 10:30 a.m., 156A, Utilities, Energy, and Telecommunications, House Bill 1306, Live Streaming and Archiving Meetings, Representative Smalls.
I don't know
House
yet.
Bill
We'll have to find out
1122,
when it goes to the
Underground
Senate.
Facility
I'm going to
Protection, Representative Vaughn.
contact
Wednesday, January 24th,
Rotz.
2024,
Rotz
8:30
will
a.m.,
also
room
answer the phone
156C, Elections
amazingly.
and Apportionment, House Bill 1265, Various Election Matters, Representative Wesco. Wednesday, January 24th, 2024, 8:30 a.m., room 156B, Judiciary, House Bill
Well, this doesn't actually
1369,
go
Family
into
and
effect.
Juvenile Law
So
Matters,
nothing's happened.
Representative McGuire.
It's
House
got to
Joint
go to the
Resolution
Senate.
3,
It's got to
terms
be
of U.S.
voted on in
senators and
committee.
members of
And
Congress,
it's got to be
Representative
voted
Hall.
on
House Bill 1068,
full
unlicensed real
Senate.
estate solicitors, Representative Clear.
And then
House
if
Bill
that
1204,
happened,
notice of disposal of real
it
property,
wouldn't go
Representative
into
Meltzer.
effect until
Wednesday,
July
January
1st.
24th, 2024, 10:30 a.m.
Sue
House
Arrington
Chamber
voted
Education,
no.
House Bill 1243, various education and workforce-related
I can
matters.
respect.
Representative
I
Baining,
can
amended
respect
vote
Fievel
only.
for
House
that.
Bill 1073, special
Yeah.
education, Representative Cash. House Bill 1137, release to attend religious instruction, Representative Colt. House Bill 1179, state educational institutions, Representative King. House Bill 1304, education matters, Representative
So
Baining. House
it's
Bill
time to start
1262,
blowing
behavioral
up the
issues in schools,
senators.
Representative Smith v. Wednesday, January 24th,
Do not
2024, 11
pass.
a.m., room 156A,
Yes.
Courts and Criminal Code. Please note the addition of House Bill 1422, House Bill 1203, listing of xylazine as a controlled substance, Representative Meltzer, amended
Xylazine.
vote only. House Bill
What is
1307,
xylazine?
sex offenders, Representative Smalls,
crazy-ass
amended vote
drug.
only. House Bill 1418, forensic diversion and drug courts, Representative Gossery is amended vote only. House Bill 1238, competency to stand trial, Representative McNamara. House Bill 1053, possession of controlled substance paraphernalia, Representative Garcia Wilburn.
Watch my
House Bill
wording.
1240, criminal law issues,
Mm.
Representative Sewerwald. House Bill 1422, trafficking of harmful substances in jail, Representative Gore.
What?
Wednesday, January 24th, 2024, 1:30
I know,
p.m. room
Brando's
404,
yelling at me.
Ways and Means. House Bill 1104, school
Not
safety,
right.
Representative Davis,
No.
amended vote only. House Bill 1135, cosmetology licensure and
I don't
apprenticeships,
believe so.
Representative Wesco, amended vote only. House Bill 1214, dental matters, Representative Zent, amended vote only. House Bill 1274,
Sparks is
Indiana
federal.
Centennial license plate, Representative
Sparks
Lehman,
isn't
amended
here.
vote only.
Sparks is
House Bill 1401, various natural resource
in
matters,
Washington,
Representative
D.C.
Lindauer, amended vote only. House Bill 1370, cemetery perpetual care fund, Representative Carbaugh, amended vote only. House Bill 1120, property taxes, amended vote only. Representative Thompson. House Bill 1121, local income tax, Representative Thompson, amended vote only.
yeah.
House Bill
Yeah, we need to
1199,
blow up our senators'
repeal of
phones.
economic enhancement, just strict law.
Our
Representative Breyer,
senators'
amended
phone
vote only.
lines.
House Bill 1328, Department of Local
Oh.
Government
Not-
Finance,
not
Representative
blow
Snow,
them up.
amended vote only. Wednesday,
If
January
anyone would
24th,
take that to mean
2024,
I meant
3
literally
p.m.
going
It's
out.
2024.
Public Health. House Bill 1393, managed
They
care
would
and
Blow up
definitely
their
take it.
phones, blow
Representative
up their
Barry, hearing only.
emails.
Thursday, January 25th, 2024, 8:30 a.m. room 156B, Family, Children, and
I am
Human
not
Affairs. House Bill
advocating for
1070, mental health
assaulting
grants,
anyone.
Representative Cash,
Thank
Good
amended vote
looking
only.
out,
House Bill
Brando.
1102, deregulation of child care, Representative Heine, amended vote only. House Bill 1164,
Wait till our
reporting of
breaking
child
up
abuse and
video with
neglect,
Kate.
Representative Cash. House Bill 1310, children in need of services, Representative Lauer. Thursday, January 25th, 2024, 8:30 a.m., room 156A, financial institutions, House Bill 1084, privacy of firearms, financial transactions, Representative Teschka, amended vote only. House Bill 1284, deposit account agreements, Representative Pierce K, amended vote only. House Bill
Good
1336,
Lord,
loan brokers,
kid.
Representative Borders.
Oh, it is the
Representative
kind of
Russell for
language that
committee
would get me kicked out of a council meeting.
Yes,
Thank you, Mr.
right.
Speaker. House and Transportation will hear 1308 tomorrow, but it is hearing only. Thank you.
Further business from the chamber. Chair recognizes Representative McGuire for a motion. Heard the motion in a second. All those favoring indicate saying aye. Those opposed no. We are adjourned.
Oh yeah. I mean, man, they did God's will today.
Said we need alcohol for this.
Yeah.
This is just tea, just for everyone's information.
I'm gonna send you
A thing.
I'm going to send you three things.
Okay. I'll get them up.
And if you could just put these up here.
The stage is yours.
I lied. I'm sending you 4 things. All right, folks, we're getting ready to wrap this up. Are you going to be the test subject? Well, listen, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So here's the deal. Here's the situation. Number one, like, people think that I don't agree with this. I agree. I've always said I agree that there has to be decorum in meetings. I'm fine with that. I also don't believe that getting angry, raising your voice, pounding the lectern, I don't believe any of that speaks out against decorum. I also don't believe that a very tactically placed hell or damn breaks decorum. You know, I am one that says, hey, if you want to curse, that's up to you. I don't conduct myself that way. That being said, I will not be shut down when I feel that I am in the right. You've seen me at the Board of Works. You've seen me at the MRC meetings. You've seen me at council meetings. I'm not Josh, but I'm my own person, and I don't do any of that. This law is not in effect right now, and so we're going to conduct business as is. When this law goes into effect, we're going to conduct business as is, as normal, straight on, right through, right as rain. And if and when something stupid happens, I will do that. I've already spoken to attorneys. I've already spoken to the ACLU. I've done everything that I've needed to do. That's that. So, I just want to show you briefly, just want to put this up here for everyone to see. I'm going to end this here. I just want to show you this. The vote ended it like this. And there's a couple of interesting things here to note. And I want to mention a couple things that Corey Criswell had talked to me about. So we see on this, Bartlett voted no. Cash wasn't there. Culp wasn't there. Harris, Hatchard, Hatfield voted no. I don't know the parties of all of these people. Jackson, Johnson, Mosley, Pack, Payne, K. Pierce, Porter, Pryor, Shackelford, Smith, Summers. Wait a minute. Arrington voted yes. I thought someone told me that Arrington voted no for this. Arrington voted yes for this.
There's only 15 no's up there, Christopher.
What's that mean?
There were 17 no's on this.
Okay, so she
Hold on a
switched
second.
at the end.
Okay, I think I've got the right one. Hold on. This one.
Okay, is this one? Can you send that? Oh, can you send that to me too in the thing?
Sure.
If possible. So that's 1, 2,
3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Shit. Somebody else.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, 38. Indiana.
We'll have to look at those two things and see which one's which, and we'll have to get a full. They'll release this eventually. It's close enough. We know it's 17. We know that, or at least they're saying at the moment, I guess, that it's 17. It's 17 yays, 17 nay. Now, I do want to say that while that is there, that
So the nays were Bartlett, Arrington, Gore, Harris, Hatcher, Hatfield, Jackson, Johnson, Mosley, Pack, Payne, Pierce, Porter, Pryor, Shackelford, Smith, and Summers. They do have the vote sheet up.
okay, they do have it.
They do have it up.
And you said Arrington was a no vote?
Arrington was a no.
Okay, good. Well, so I want to make sure that we're aware, so people are aware of what goes on when we look at this, okay? When we're looking at 17 yays, or 79 yays and 17 nays, what that means is there's 4 people that did not vote. There's 96 votes there. 96 out of 100. 96 out of 100 votes. Out of those 100 votes, 70 people are Republican and 30 people are Democrat. So I don't know if there are any Republicans that voted no, but I know that there are Democrats that voted no. Here we've got this. Top off?
I just did the nose.
Okay, just the no's.
Yeah.
The no's are Bartlett, Arrington, Gore, Harris, Hatcher, Hatfield, Jackson, Johnson, Mosley, Pack, Payne, Pierce, Porter, Pryor, Shackelford, Smith, Summers. So we'll have to go back through and look at this. The speaker didn't vote. Now, it's interesting to me. Why did Todd not vote? He always does this. Like, I'd like to go back and see how many votes he's not cast. He's like, I don't got to do anything. I'm the speaker. The hell with that. I don't want you there anymore. So we'll be looking at this. I'll find out who's who. We'll talk about all this tonight. We've got a big meeting. We got a big show tonight because of the meeting tomorrow. We've got to talk about Delaware County. We'll focus on this a little bit. I'll tell you what the breakdown is tonight. We'll look at all of that. There's some disappointing people that voted. Larissa Sweet voted for it. I hate seeing that. Corey Criswell voted for it. I hate seeing that, you know. Maybe these people can redeem themselves in the future. I don't know. I'll tell you that Corey has told me that there's been a lot of pressure going on this and that they were just told that this is just a simple bill. This is just a simple bill. It doesn't change nothing. Then we don't need it. If it's just a simple bill that doesn't do anything, then we don't need it. Period. Before we end, I want to show you this. I got this during this. I got this. I got Levi Tucker, whoever the hell that is, said, bro, nobody cares about your show. Find something else in your life, wasting your time. I said, well, you cared enough to text. Thank you. And then he said, you're welcome. I'm a very caring person. And I said, thumbs up. Me too. And then he said, rock on. So I guess we love each other now. I don't really know. Levi, if you're out there, this show's dedicated to you. So, matter of fact, I think we're going to move you to the head of the honorary producers. And we're going to start calling this, I think I might start calling this Levi Tucker's Political Spotlight. Kind of like Stephen King's, It, or, whatever. So, all right. We are out, folks. We'll see you back here at 9 p.m. tonight. And we'll talk about what we got to do to fight this stupidity and all of these people and all of the stupid idiots and dumbheads that are involved here and what we've got to do. All right. Good night or good afternoon, whatever. And we'll see you back here in just a moment. Goodbye. Oh, no. Bye.